You ever wonder why you can so easily picture a ghost, or a talking animal, or even a god? I mean, these things are impossible, right? And yet, they're some of the most memorable, most widespread ideas in all of human history. They just seem to stick in our brains and spread like wildfire. So why is that? Well, it turns out there's a kind of formula, a cognitive recipe for making an impossible idea completely unforgettable. And to find that recipe, we've got to go back like way, way back. So let me ask you this. What do you think is the oldest impossible idea that we have ever found actual physical proof of?
Well, here it is. It's called the Lion Man. It was found deep inside a German cave, and it's this incredible sculpture, carved out of mammoth ivory. It has the body of a human, but the head of a lion, a creature that has never ever walked the earth.
And get this, it was made 40,000 years ago. Just let that sink in for a second. This wasn't just art. This was a massive leap for the human mind. It's the ability to imagine something that just isn't there, something that doesn't exist in the real world, and then bring it to life. But, this raises a really fascinating question. Why a lion man? Why not something, I don't know, even weirder? Why did this very specific mix of the real and the unreal mean so much that somebody spent hundreds of hours carving it? Well, it turns out this ancient statue holds the key to why we believe what we do even today. See, it all comes down to what cognitive scientists call the mind's sweet spot for memory. Our brains, it turns out, are super picky about the kinds of impossible things they're willing to hold on to and pass along. Our minds are kind of stuck between two extremes. On one end, you've got ideas that are totally intuitive, like a man who eats breakfast. Sure, it makes perfect sense, but it's so boring you'd forget it in a heartbeat. Then, on the other extreme, you have something that's maximally counterintuitive. Think an invisible tree that can do algebra. It breaks so many of our basic rules about how the world works that our brain just kind of gives up. It's too much work to even process, let alone remember.
The ideas that really stick, the ones that win, live right in the middle. They're called minimally counterintuitive concepts, or MCI for short. An MCI idea is mostly familiar, mostly normal, but it breaks one, maybe two of our mental rules in a really specific way that just grabs our attention. That right there, that's the cognitive sweet spot.
And this isn't just a random thing. It's practically a formula. So let's pull back the curtain and see how this supernatural formula is used to build some of the most common impossible ideas we all know. Okay, let's take a ghost. A ghost is almost exactly like a regular person, right? It has a mind, it has memories, it has goals. All of that fits perfectly with our built-in understanding of how people work, what you could call our folk psychology. But it violates one huge rule of how the physical world works, our folk physics. It can walk through walls. That single, simple violation is what makes the whole idea so powerful and so easy to remember. And you see the exact same pattern with, say, a talking tree. It's almost entirely a normal plant. It's got roots, leaves, it needs sun. That all checks out with our intuitive folk biology. But it violates our expectations by having a human-like mind that can think and talk. See? It's that same trick. One simple attention-grabbing twist on something we already understand. But this is so much more than just a cool memory trick. The reason MCI concepts are so powerful is that they literally plug right into our brain's most basic fundamental programming. We're all born with a couple of really important mental tools. First, you've got something called HAD, which stands for Hyperactive Agency Detection Device. This is that instinct that makes you jump when a twig snaps in the dark. Your brain immediately defaults to thinking, who's there, instead of, what was that? Second, we have a theory of mind. That's our natural ability to guess what other people or other things are thinking and feeling. These systems are just always on. Now, MCI concepts basically hijack these systems. Here's how it goes. Step 1. You hear a weird noise, your HDAD goes off, you assume it was some kind of agent. Step 2. Your theory of mind automatically kicks in and you start wondering, what does that agent want? And then, step 3, the MCI concept delivers the twist. The agent is there, but you can't see it. It's invisible. Boom. Your brain just built a ghost from scratch. But there's one last crucial ingredient. For an MCI concept to really take off and spread, it needs something called inferential potential. Basically, that's a fancy way of saying the idea has to matter. It needs to have consequences for us. An invisible ghost that might want to harm you, that's way more interesting and spreads a lot faster than one that just, floats around harmlessly. It has to be relevant. So when you combine that memorable MCI structure with real-world relevance, what do you get? You get the absolute stickiest ideas in all of human history. The kinds of ideas that have built and shaped entire civilizations. There's a quote that just sums this up perfectly. Religious concepts replicate successfully because they are just strange enough to be interesting, yet familiar enough to be understood. It's that perfect balance. That's what allows an impossible idea to really take root in our minds. And this one simple cognitive principle, this is the engine behind so much of human culture. It's the foundation for our myths and folklore. It's the blueprint for gods and spirits in basically every world religion. And it explains how our ancestors, like the person who carved the Lion Man, could pass these powerful ideas down for thousands and thousands of years before anyone even knew how to write. Which, of course, brings us to a really fascinating final thought. This mental machinery, it's still running inside every single one of us right now. So if you look at the world around you, from modern urban legends and conspiracy theories to the characters in our movies and video games, what minimally counterintuitive ideas do you think we are creating and spreading right now?